Walt Disney has fired Gina Carano. She is the former fighter turned actress who was the actress in The Mandalorian. Widely acclaimed for her role, very pro woman, pro feminist, strong woman role. She's been fired. She made an inartful Holocaust impression. Now, a lot of people saw her tweet on the right and they agreed with it. I didn't have massive amounts of problems with it, but I also know that one of the few things that can get people on the left and the right these days, on both of them, equal sides, punished is Holocaust comparisons. Never compare other stuff to Holocausts. At least try. I think one of the few is abortion. And even then, people get mad at you when you do it. And I do kind of get, given the Holocaust, I do get it. But it really wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, fireable. She has a co-host, the star of the show, who is totally replaceable because he wears a helmet all the time, the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, who has compared Trump supporters to Nazis and has compared the 21st century United States to Nazi concentration camps. Again, he made a concentration camp comparison, and he still has a job. Another director that Disney routinely employs put up a picture of throwing Trump supporters into wood chippers and encouraging them to die or jump into wood chippers themselves. He still has a job with Disney. But Gina Carano, nope, she's gone. The woke mob didn't like her. And do you know why they started this with her? Because they were upset that she would not put her pronouns in her Twitter bio. I'm not making that up. That's what started the controversy with her, and she's egged them on for a while. But you got to acknowledge here, corporate America has gone woke. You can't watch a professional sports engagement without being lectured on what a sinner you are because you don't bow to wokeness. Jeep trotted out a rabid partisan who has said terrible things about conservatives and put him in a church declaring we all need the middle. And if you pointed out Bruce Springsteen's prior positions and statements about conservatives and how far left he is, well, you're the hateful bigot. And while these woke corporate monsters and athletes and actors and actresses and activists and media giants lecture America on race and sexuality and anti-biology and equity, they're also willing to glad hand with China and make a whole lot of money. You know, Disney fired Gina Carano for making a comparison between the treatment of American conservatives and the Holocaust. And Disney is willing to do business and does profit from doing business in communist China and filmed Mulan in an area of China that has actual legitimate concentration camps. The National Basketball Association will lecture Americans on Black Lives Mattering, but make so much money off of China, you're not allowed to say that Hong Kong lives matter. Nike is willing to promote a failed football quarterback like Colin Kaepernick to lecture you on America's sins, and then they profit off of child labor and slavery in China. Paramount is part of CBS Viacom, and they're willing to alter the badge on Maverick's Top Gun to get rid of a Taiwan symbol to placate China. They're also tied to CBS News' division. You know, this is a coming problem we're going to have. CNN is part of AT&T, which also owns Warner. When is CNN going to be able to critically question China without Warner being impacted in the box office at China? What about Comcast, which owns NBC and MSNBC? When is it going to be punished for the coverage that NBC gives? China's going to block Universal from the box office. Disney has ABC and ESPN. We've already seen Disney collaborate with China, make money off of China, block ESPN from showing Hong Kong protesters at basketball games. When are their box office going to get punished if ABC does something? Ironically, the only media network out there right now that can critically cover China is Fox News because it sold its movie division to Disney. The media institutions, the corporations, the woke progressives, they'll let China cancel and literally exterminate millions of people, and then here we'll cancel anyone who violates woke orthodoxy at the drop of the hat. Things that were literally permissible last week, you can no longer say this week. But what really is the problem here, honestly, it's the disparity in cancellations, and it's going to boil over to violence. We're getting our first early taste of it. At CNN, Oliver Darcy and Brian Stelter are employed to cancel conservatives with whom they disagree. CNN, if you'll remember, actually had a reporter show up at a woman's home and lecture her, an elderly senior citizen woman in Florida who shared something on Facebook that turned out to be one of the Russian things in 2016. Showed up at her home to shame her. Remember the guy who did the Nancy Pelosi thing on Facebook? They outed him and tried to ruin his life. The media did. The New York Times employs woke reporters whose sole job is to cancel people, particularly in technology, who dare disagree with them. And the disparity is causing people to support Donald Trump. And a lot of them were willing to turn a blind eye to what happened on January 6th because they know something and are willing to admit something that people on the left are not willing to admit. That the left does, with the media, want to silence a lot of conservatives. The media, corporations, the political left, they have become an American Taliban. They're not going to take your life, but they're willing to tear down statues. They're willing to destroy lives. They're willing to ruin careers for wrong speak, wrong thought, wrong belief. And I'm not talking Confederate statues. They are literally, the American Taliban is willing to tear down George Washington and Abraham Lincoln for not being woke enough in the 17 and 1800s.